know you're tired. I know you're broken. And it feels like you can't take anymore. That you have come to the end of yourself. But all of this means one thing. That you are a survivor. Your greatest weakness, the hurt, the pain, the betrayal, the feeling that you get when you wake up and you are inundated with so much responsibility. Feels like you can't breathe. Paralyzed by the pain of life. I can only imagine what it's been like to be you. But I'll tell you this, there is a switch inside of every one of us. And at any moment in life, you can turn that switch from surviving to winning. Because ultimately, survival is an illusion. There's only two types of people in this world. There's people who lose, and there's people who win. And it's hard to be a loser. It is hard to be a winner. Today, I want you to make a decision to flip the switch inside of you from surviving to winning. It's time to win. See, the human being is the highest order of creation on earth. And one thing I am crystal clear about is that at any moment in your life, you can come across a speech or a piece of information. And if that information is applied, that revelation, it can forever alter the fabric of your existence. It's in the midst of our greatest storm. If you can hear my voice, you've survived. You survived the hurricane. You survived the storm. You survived the trial. You survived the betrayal. You survived it all. In order to change your life, all you gotta do is flip this switch from surviving to winning. See, a survivor will sit and wallow in the pain of the past. But a winner will build even when they are broken. I may be weak, I may be hurting, I may have pains, I may have been down, but I am not out. I am getting out of this hole. Today, I'm getting out of the pit of misery and into my destiny. Your pain is not bigger than your purpose. And even though you have been crushed in this very moment, you still have your calling.
What's going on, world? What's going on? It's your boy Rudy LaRose in the building, baby. I am so excited to be here, right now. Confidence factor is in full effect. I am here. Woo! Man, I can't wait. We have some great things for you guys tonight at the Confidence Factor Talks right here at 7 o'clock. That video, that video had me on fire. However, I got some brothers on the line that's going to get you on fire and excited for the moment, the opportunity, the time that we're about to have right now. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Jayville, Florida, my man, Dr. Bobby B. You know what I'm saying?
What's happening? Yeah, baby. Yeah. Hey, Rudy. Yeah. You want to do some push-ups? You want to do some pull-ups? Yeah. Let's get it, baby.
Hey, we're not in the vortex right now, bro. We're in
the vortex. We're not in the vortex.
Vortex over there. We
over there. We gotta leave it over there. We leave it over there. What's happening, good people? Bobby B in the place, man. I'm so happy to be here, man. We got some great information to share with you guys. Our research, the network, the connection catalyst doing his thing as always. So I'm excited to be here, and I'm gonna turn it back over to Rudy Rude so he can keep this thing going because we got a lot of information to share tonight.
Ooh, we got a lot to cover tonight. But it's not possible to do that without class being in session.
Here you go. Here you go.
Class is going to be in session. We need to have the professor in the building, all the way from Orlando, Florida. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Mr. Marion in the building, baby. What's going on?
Yes. What's going on, champions?
Excited, man. Excited to be here, man.
CF Factors in the building. Listen, y'all, listen, Rudy, you're absolutely right. I just love that video. And if you're watching tonight, give us some feedback. If you love that video, put hashtag I love it, right?
Yeah.
Like push hashtag I love it, right?
Yes.
That video was on fire.
Yes.
That video was on fire. So, and that's what we hear.
FIYA. Fire.
Fire.
Hey, listen, Rudy has his own language, so you just gotta roll with us, right?
Yes.
What's going on, Andy Enriquez?
Andy in the building. Yes.
How you do anything is how you do everything.
Yeah.
Because if you don't show up, you best believe somebody's gonna show up for your life.
That's it. And Andy's gonna do it. Mr. Master Storyteller himself.
Yes.
Beautiful. So listen, we're excited that you guys are here tonight. We're excited because in the video, as you've seen, we talked about making that switch, right? Making that critical switch in your life. And in this defining moment, my goodness, we all have an opportunity to really turn on that switch. And so here's one of the things that I know. One of the things that I know is that one piece of information, one event, one person, a book, a conference can literally provide the necessary information that you need to be able to turn on that switch, to be able to help you to play the game of life to win, right? So you can go from surviving to winning. And so I'm excited because that's what we're going to talk about tonight. We're here as Confidence Factor Men to share some timeless principles for you so that you can unleash your confidence factor, right? So you can pursue your purpose and developing your confidence factor. So I'm really, really excited. So we're going to be sharing with you one key tonight, one of our key nuggets, one of our key principles that you can adopt right now to be able to really just unleash yourself. And we know that what's happening right now in the marketplace is so much uncertainty, right? And when people are uncertainty, there's a couple of things that happens. People feel, that they can't take action. They're not taking massive action in life. They are, in a sense, going through a lot of stress right now, right? And, people are feeling like, there's hopelessness. And so we recognize that there's an opportunity for us to come on and share some information with you and share some insight with you, share these timeless principles that's going to help you to be able to move past, what you're going through, to be able to see new possibilities for your life. One of the things I like to say is that possibility is seeking expression. And in this defining moment, possibility is seeking expression through you. And we want to support you through the process, through this platform, to help you to continue to unleash, to continue to be able to see a better version of yourself. So I'm excited to be here with these fellas because all of us have gone through transformation. And today we're having another hot level conversation that leads to transformation. So get excited. This is going to be a good one. And I just get excited. I get to set the tone and the frame for this conversation. So here's what we know. I want to jump right into it, brothers. And coming off of that video, there's one key thing that was shared that I really want us to underscore as we lay the foundation for this conversation. And it's simply this. Here's a quote. The quality of our thinking will determine the quality of our life, right? The quality of our thinking will determine the quality of our life. And, as I was going through, looking at some numbers and research for this conversation, one of the things that's so critically important is that our mind always asks why, right? So as the professor, I want to make sure that everyone understands why it's so critically important that one of the timeless principles and one of the things that you implement in your life, one of the shifts, the critical shifts that you're going to make is a shift in your level of thinking. Why is that so important? So I want to read some really interesting stats. But before I do that, wait. Something I want to share with you guys. Of course, as you know, we're Confidence Factor, and we have a challenge coming up. We are a community for men to help to support men to be able to empower them to be able to pursue their purpose by developing their confidence factor. So we do have a challenge that's coming up called Unleash Your Riches, a 7-day free challenge. And it's a challenge that's going to help us to provide additional resources to those men who really want to, they're feeling that possibility inside that wants to be expressed. They're going through things in their life. They're feeling a little bit lonely. They're feeling a little isolated. They feel like they don't matter for whatever reason, right? The things that they're going through in life. And we want to support them through that particular process. So listen, there's a link below. If you see that link that's scrolling across, you want to click on that link and you want to sign up for our Unleash Your Riches challenge that's coming up. And of course, ladies, this community is for men. However, these are live conversations that we're having that we want you to be a part of. We want you to be enrolled in these conversations because we realize without you, nothing happens. And we realize that you're an integral part of making sure that our message gets out there and is shared with many men that's in your life, whether it be your husband, your spouse, your uncle, your cousin, your brother. We know that men right now need a space to be able to have heart level conversations so they can have the transformation. So this is what we're doing, and we wanted to invite you to be part of the process. We want to invite you to be a vehicle to help us to spread our message and to be able to help transform over 5 million men through this particular process on this community called Confidence Factor. So we're excited you're here. We love you. We appreciate you, and thank you for the support. Let me acknowledge a couple of people. We have Frederick Willock this here. We have Georgia Segridas here. We have Andy Enriquez, of course. We have John English is here watching. Wendy Hammond, thank you so much for being here. We have Kim, pleasure to see you. Byron is here. I just want to welcome all of you guys and acknowledge you for showing up and giving me your time. Your time is the most valuable asset you have. So I am certainly grateful and honored that you're here to spend it with me and the fellas. So I wanted to share this quick stat with you. This is quite interesting. So check this out. The National Science Foundation said this. There's a published article that summarizes a research on human thought, right? The thought that humans have per day. And here's what they found. It was found that on average, the average person has about 12,000, you heard me right, 12,000 to 6,000 thoughts per day. Let me say that again. The average person has about 12,000 to 6,000 thoughts per day. Of those thousands of thoughts, get this, this is critical. 80% were negative, and 95% were exactly the same repetitive thoughts as the day before. Let me say it again. 80% of those thoughts, 16,000 to 60,000 thoughts were negative. 95% were exactly the same as they were before. So what is this really telling us? This is really telling us that at the onset, most of the thoughts that we have on a day-to-day basis is negative, and we have what we call a negativity bias. So I want to get the fellas back in, and I want to get their thoughts on that stat, because when I read that, that really blew me away. And I think it really underscores why it's so critical for us to be having this conversation, fellas, right? What are your thoughts on that stat?
I think it's true. I think it's true. I mean, I walk down the street, I'm talking to someone in the grocery store or wherever. It's like, how are you doing? Hey, today's a great day. It's the best day of my life. I say it every single time. And every time I say it, every person is shocked. Oh, is it your birthday? Did you get married? Did you have a birthday? No, I'm just happy to be alive. And like, yeah. So I say, how are you doing? Well, it's raining, or it's Tuesday. And I'm like, so Tuesday's the worst day of the week. You don't know. The thoughts are constantly negative. People are shocked when you're saying, I'm having a great day, or I'm enjoying myself, right? Or it's just a Wednesday, I'm happy to be alive, right? And that's what happens. People are shocked, and it's tend to be negative about the day, especially if it's raining. Oh, it's raining out. That's how you get your fruits and your vegetables. What do you want? Like, so that's my thought on it. I believe it's true.
Beautiful. Rudy, what is your thoughts on that stat, man? That was kind of like real interesting, my brother.
I'm gonna take it to Bruce Almighty. Can you imagine for just a moment, right? If everything that you said came to fruition, like it just happened. If you said the sky was green, it happened. If you said the I'm having a great day, all of a sudden the rain goes away and all these things. Can you imagine for just a moment that everything that you spoke just came to pass? Well, you know what? That's how our thoughts are. For me, I think about, if I'm thinking of something, if I'm focusing on something, I'm invested in it. I'm creating it. you know, there's a momentum going in that thinking, in that mindset. And when I think about the, you know, having thoughts, man, sometimes, you know, I think about how many times you can't go to sleep because of thoughts. You know, your thoughts are running rampant. I personally, I just write them down because I'm like, look, get out of my head, go into a paper, and then I can go to sleep. But yeah, man, I'm serious, bro. It's just crazy, man. But you're right, Bobby. It's like, you know, if we live life by default, it's gonna be negative. It's gonna be a negative thinking, negative mindset, and so we have to purposely and intentionally shift that around. And again, what, you know, you are what you think. If you think about it, if you focus on it, if it flows there, that's all. Listen, I used to say that my money talks and it says goodbye. Okay, that's what I used to say because I was joking around. My wife said, "You better stop saying that." I was like, I said, "You know what, babe? You're right. My money talks, and it says, how may I serve you?" That's my new thing.
That's it, man. I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
That's a shift. That's a shift.
My boy, say it again. Say it again. Say it.
My money says, my money talks, and it says, how may I serve you?
How may I serve you? How may I serve you? I love
it. That's hot.
I love it.
And you know, a couple of things you said, Rudy, that's so important. Number one is being intentional, because based upon the statistic, it's showing that we already have a negativity bias. And let's acknowledge the reality that, no, listen, if you're not being intentional about, you know, being positive in your life, you're going to default to what the science says, especially today when we're in such a very, very uncertain time, right? We're in a time where most of the information that we consume today is negative. You look at the television, you look at the news, you know, you listen to conversations, as Bobby said, you're talking to people. Most of the conversation is going to reinforce what's already going on inside your mind. So if you're wanting to shift the results in your life, you know, you got to shift, first start with your thinking. And one of the things that I know is this: what we consume, we become. What we consume, we become. And so often is that we are not intentional about making sure that whatever we're consuming, whether through our eye gates or ear gates or through our mouth, is nourishing food, right? It's nourishing to our mind, nourishing to our bodies, you know? And so it's so important to be intentional and have intentional actions. I'm glad that we brought it up. Have intentional, you know, actions towards making sure that we're staying positive. Now, it sounds Pollyanna, right? Because a lot of people, as soon as I say that, because your mind has a negativity bias, guess what? It goes back to, oh, but what if? Right? You know, guys, we know that there's an inner conversation. As soon as somebody says something, you agree, but then you go, oh, but. Right? So we have to acknowledge that, and don't make yourself wrong for that. You just have to realize that you have a negative bias. So even when you hear positive, you're still going to revert to negative. And so it's so important that you reinforce that every single day to make that one key shift so you can go from surviving to winning in your life. So very important. No, I want to bring Bobby on, but before I bring Bobby on, I want to set the tone for a discussion I'm going to have later on as things come back around. But here's the thing: if you want to be able to change results in your life, like I said before, you got to be able to change the first thing, which is your thinking. I remember T. Harv in his book, The Secrets of a Millionaire Mind, talks about the manifesting formula. And so oftentimes what we try to do is we try to shift the outer circumstances of our life, right? We try to shift the results that we see, right? We're trying to shift that. Or if the results are not what we want, you know, we go straight into that negativity thinking. And so the reality is, if you want to change your results in your life, you got to start off changing your thinking. That thinking then drives you to new ways of feeling and emotional states that then supports new actions, new possibilities to be expressed, which will then shift the results that you have. But I'll come back around talking about that. So as we look at that stat, Bobby, I want you to really bring you on to really address how we can start making that shift. Because we can talk about the negativity, but I think it's so important to give people food, give people nourishment, give people action steps, things they can do to be able to start to make that shift, right? So if you would share some value there, man, I want to bring you on for that. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. You know, what's key about what you guys are saying, and I love about it, it's when I listen to all these thought leaders right now, right? All these thought leaders, they say, you know, as a man thinketh. That's like a huge book right now. You Are What You Think by Doug Hoover, I believe it is. There's what you said, what you focus on expands. All these things lead towards that our thinking is going to produce our reality. And one of the things that I found out is not just our thinking produces our reality, but my thinking can be influenced. I can get rid of negative thoughts. I can, download positive thoughts into my mind. One thing Rudy said, he said to think, he said basically he writes things down. And what I say is to think is to put it in ink, right? To think is to put it in ink. And that goes two ways, because if you say, hey, I'm going to schedule something, I'm going to write it down and schedule something, I'm now going to follow what I wrote down. But to think is to put it in ink also means something different for me as well. In my path, along my path, I used to deal with depression. I dealt with depression for about 20 years. It was because I had a certain way of thinking. And like most people, my thinking was, hey, this always happens to me, or why does this always happen to me? Or if I take one step forward, I go two steps backward, or, if I get ahead a little bit, then I'm pushed back, more. So when that was happening to me, I was stuck in what we might call a way of thinking, a paradigm, right? And I'm thinking it's always going to be like this. And by thinking that it's always going to be like this, I was inevitably creating my future. So like Rudy said, I'm speaking something out. Hey, this always happens to me, or, my money is funny, or whatever it is. You're speaking that out. And what's happening is those words are going before you to create and mold your environment. And then you are, in essence, walking right into that which you have created. And so in the beginning, I didn't understand that. And sometimes you can have, as the video said, a switch and something go off. Well, I had two different switches. One was good and one wasn't. What I perceived wasn't good. I remember hearing about the law of attraction. I got so angry because when I used to deal with depression, I used to have a habit of saying, okay, when things are going good, I pat myself on the back. Yeah, look at me. I did this. I'm good. Hey, I did all this work, right? And then when things went bad, I had a default. My default was, let me find something to blame so that it's not on me, right? This person didn't hire me, or they didn't give me the promotion. I was never looking at myself saying, hey, this is on me. This is what I'm attracting to myself. This is what I'm speaking into my environment and creating my life, this state of this existence that I have. I'm stuck in this state. And I know a lot of people, I'm curious to know how many days of the month do you wake up positive? I'd be curious to know that. If you could put that in the comments, I'd be curious to know. How many days of the week do you actually wake up positive? Where you wake up, you say, I'm ready to go. I'm going to take this on. I'm living my life. This is what I want, right? Because for me, and put that in the chat. We love to see, we love to know, because because we feel like we're around like minds, right? We're all similar in some way. So with that being said, I was stuck in this state, and I really wanted to thrive. I didn't want to survive anymore. I wanted to thrive. I want to get above and beyond. Issue was, although I was thinking positive, I didn't know how to get rid of the negative thinking. And here's the thing about the negative thinking. It has so many byproducts. I always ask people, if you can think whatever you want to think, why not just think positive? So in other words, if you are, if you have the choice of saying, hey, I'm going to think something I don't want, and then I have the choice to think of something I do want, and no one has a gun to your head, and you can pick whichever one you want, why wouldn't you automatically pick the positive one, right? And so as Darian has shared, he says that, we have this negativity bias, right? And even so much so, as I was studying this, I didn't get a chance to finish. I wanted to dig so much into this, because what I found out is through psychology, when we were dealing with people, there was a certain time frame where we tend to deal with, from a mental aspect, a lot of things of being negative, illnesses. Now there's a such thing as a positive psychology, where they're leaning more towards searching for answers through the positive, as opposed to searching for answers through the negative, through the illness. Something's wrong. There's something wrong with you. You don't function like the rest of society. So we're saying we can bring more help by thinking positively. But here's the question. How do you get rid of negative thoughts? That is the master question. So for me, when I was thinking negative, we tend to gain more weight around the belly area, right? We tend to hold and harness, those thoughts, emotions, those feelings. For men, you're predominantly, going to see it around the stomach area. That we're going to retain, fat and those emotions and that energy. We gain it in that area. So when I was in the process of becoming healthier in my life, what I found was I can do it through exercise. One way I can interfere with negative thinking was through physiology. I can do exercises, and exercises can influence the mind, and the mind can influence the body. So they go hand in hand. So we're talking about dealing with the whole person. So I want you to think of maybe like your mind like a lake. So your mind is like a lake. It's a still lake. And on this lake, we have floating just like a plastic bottle. And this plastic bottle is in your mind. It's on your mind. It's a negative thought on your mind. And it has no business being there, but it's just dangling along. So you're being positive and you're trying to stay positive and all. But meanwhile, in the back of your mind, you have this slight little thought that I'm still not going to get ahead. It's still not going to work out for me. And you're pushing and pushing, but that thought is still there. So like what Rudy said earlier, he gave a hint as to the solution to this. What we're going to do is we're going to remove that negative thought from your mind. So it's simple as this. We're going to take a Post-it, right? Post-its are my favorite. I put them all over the place. So you'll take a Post-it, right? And on the first Post-it, you're going to pick something in your life that you really want to conquer, like something you want to deal with. Maybe you say, an example is my money is funny. Sometimes I get ahead and then something always happens to me and I end up right back where I started, right? So that's the negative thought. So what you would do is, it doesn't matter. Here's the key. It doesn't matter if you like it or not. And it doesn't matter if it's true or not. We're not going to deal with that. We're just going to get rid of it because we don't need it. It's not what you want. So let's get rid of it completely. And what you're going to do is you're going to write that down. Whatever you think that negative statement is, true or not, like it or not, write it down. My money is funny. I earn money and then I fall behind. All right. That's the negative thought. So you write that down. Then we turn around, we take another Post-it and we write the opposite on that Post-it. We write something in the affirmative or we write something positive on that Post-it. And so with that second Post-it, you might write something like, I am so happy and grateful now. Money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. That's very popular right now. Bob Proctor is one of the people that have put that out there. So I write that positive statement on my second Post-it, right? Now, with the first Post-it, I'm going to take this Post-it here, the negative thought, the one that I don't want. We said to think is to put it in ink, which means we took it out of our head and we wrote it down. So the thought is no longer in your head, it's on the paper. There's your negative thought. It's not in here, it's here. Once you write it down, you have the option of how you want to get rid of it. You can rip it up into small pieces. You can flush it down the toilet. And in my workout training class that we do in the morning, this is a part of my workout training that we do when people have things they're trying to overcome and to work through. And we have other steps to go with it. But simply, you can do this. You can take it. Their favorite is to burn it. They burn the negative thoughts. And that thought is now gone up into the ether. It evaporates. It's not in your mind. It's not on the paper. It's gone. So then I ask the question, how can that negative thought get back to you? You'd have to actually go search it out, look for it, and put it back in your head after you just got rid of it. And who wants to do that? That's one exercise that you can do that you can get rid of the negative thoughts. Write down one thought on the first piece of paper, what the negative version is. Write on the second Post-it what the positive aspect of that would be. And then we burn the first one and we keep the second one. That second piece of paper, you can now every night and every morning when you wake up, you can write it out about 50 times, 100 times, whatever amount of times you want. And then we are reinforcing the thinking. I am so happy and grateful now. It comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. After a while, just like when we exercise, I have people in my class that started, they couldn't do even 20 push-ups. Now they're doing 500 push-ups, 600 push-ups, 700 push-ups, right? And they couldn't even do 5 when they started. But we're doing the same thing with the mind. We are exercising and making it normal to think positive. It's not going to happen overnight, but if you keep pushing and you keep going, eventually positive thinking will become your predominant thought. And so that's what I wanted to share about how to get rid of the negative thinking. And then obviously, once you get rid of that negative thinking, we put one positive thought, but I'm pretty sure we're going to share some other things on how you can reinforce that positivity. So I wanted to share that with you, that piece.
No, I love that, man. That's some practical tips and steps that you can take to be able to get rid of negative thoughts. And I love the two things that you really talked about, Bobby. Number one is helping people to really come to awareness. And we talked about this last week, is helping people to become aware of the thinking that they have. Because so many times, you know, we operate like robots, right? We're going through life and we're on this automatic way of being, automatic way of acting. We're responding a lot of times unconsciously to a lot of things, circumstances, and stimulus in our life. And we really don't know and are conscious and aware of how we're thinking and how that thinking is then impacting the results that we have in our life. So I love that you talked about that. You have an actual practical step and a tool to be able to bring levels of awareness. Awareness is the first step and the key to change. Yeah. And the other thing that I think is so critical is you talked about is repetition. And I know this is a big area that I've struggled with over the years. And you start and you stop, you start and you stop, you start and you stop. And so many times, you know, like New Year's resolution, you set a New Year's resolution, and then all of a sudden after the second month, you know, you find yourself back into those same patterns. And it's because you're not consistent. And there's a quote that I love that says this: you're either consistent or you're non-existent. Right. So you want to make sure you have consistency in your life. That's so critical. And I'm not just talking to you, I'm reinforcing that for myself, because whatever we teach, we're also teaching to ourselves. But I'm excited to get Rudy to come on and share his thoughts on just the opposite side of things. We talked about how to get rid of negative thoughts, but I want to have Rudy share his thoughts about reinforcing positivity, because that is so critical. Of course, we know that 80% of our thoughts are negative. How do we start to switch the pendulum? How do we go from the other side, Rudy? Talk to us, big brother. Yeah.
So, you know, for the longest time, you know, I can remember, as long as I can remember, and even having conversations with my mom, you know, I can remember, you know, asking her, you know, was I always a positive kid, and you know, and what was I like? And she always mentioned that, yeah, I was always positive, always, you know, always taking the charge and you know, gathering with people. There was never an issue with me just fighting and things like that. And even now, I got something to admit to you guys. I got something to admit. I'm going to admit this on live television. Brothers, I have never, ever been in a fight in my life. I've never thrown some bows. Never been throwing some bows. I've literally have never been in a fight. Right?
Wow.
Hey, Bobby, I don't know if to believe that. I don't know if to believe that.
You know, you know what's so funny? I had this thought earlier today. I said, Rudy was in the military? I said, that don't even make any sense. and wait, but watch this. Then I said, that does make sense. I said, can you imagine Rudy in charge of your army? Everybody would be breaking bread, talking, laughing, dancing, and they'd be like, hey, maybe we do this tomorrow. You know, and every day they come back, Rudy would have them partying and enjoying themselves. We don't need to fight. Fighting is old, man. Let's not even do that. That's why he should be the head of the army right there. Prime example.
Love is not fighters. We love is not fighters.
Get rid of war, baby. Hey, Rudy.
But you know, so as I started thinking about that, and I started thinking about my life, you know, my life has always been about positive thinking, and what that looks like is not necessarily, oh, you know, we're just, everything's great and white and, you know, and on the field and everything. No, but it's what it's been, honestly, it's just perspective, right? It's just been my perspective in life has always been looking at the positive aspect of things, putting a spin on it. You know, if somebody comes out and says the sky is gray and it's raining, I'm like, man, it's raining, great. It's time for some hot chocolate, you know, or, you know, it's time to sing in the rain, or whatever. There's always been this thing that just drives me to look at the different ways of thinking. And for that reason, there are some things in my life that I can honestly attest to the fact that I've always had a positive mindset, right? So when we think about positive thinking, what does it do for you? When you have a positive mindset, people want to be around you naturally. It's just a natural thing. You go somewhere and you start having conversation, and all of a sudden your conversation leads to the possibilities. Your conversation leads to what it can be like. Your conversation leads to somebody shares a dream with you, Bobby B, and you just like, okay, we're gonna build a car that's gonna go into spaceship. Okay, cool. How many doors is it gonna have? Okay, all right. What color are you thinking? All right, okay. How long will the oxygen last in the car? Always thinking about the next thing and the next move and how to elevate and how to raise people up in their state. And I believe because of that, it's contagious. It's hard for people to be in a room where there is so much positivity, so much great energy, and for them to be down. It's very, very difficult. You've never seen somebody say, "Hey, have a great day," and the person's like, "Forget you." It's like, what? Okay, all right. It's rare. It doesn't mean it doesn't happen, but it's very rare, for that to happen because you're bringing that energy. So positive thinking helps people get around you. Positive thinking has helped me with less stress. I mean, listen, we're in the middle of the worst thing that we can ever imagine that has happened from layoffs and this and that and all this kind of stuff that's going on. And you know what I had to slow down and really think about, what can I do right now? What can I do in this season, in this situation? What can I do, as I go out there and impact people? I said, I know what I can do. I can infect people with my positivity. That's exactly what I thought. I can infect people with my positivity because why? Because I know the news, the doctors, the reports, the sickness, the this, the that, the mask, this is closed, this you can't do this, like all this stuff. I know that all of these things are things that people are dealing with, and it's up to people like you and I who have this positive mindset to say, let's think about a different perspective. Yeah, I know you're dealing with this, but let's look at this for a second. It's not to say that it's not there. It's not to say that I'm ignoring these things, but it's to say that I'm choosing what I'm going to be focused on. So being able to have this mindset has allowed me less stress in my life. It has allowed me to be healthier. I mean, not just from a mindset standpoint, but like literally, like physically be healthier because of not taking on a negative mindset. Here's a couple other things that I love about having a positive mindset, and it increases your lifespan. That's right. Your boy's going to live to 110 years old. All right. It lowers the rate of depression. Okay. All right. I remember, I can specifically remember one moment in time that I went through just a slight depression during that period of time in my life. And what I can remember is that I told myself I'd never be in that place again. And the way that I was able to do that is I was very specific about the people that was surrounding me during that period of time. I become very, very intentional about the things that I watched, the things that I ingested, the music I listened to, the shows that I watched, the books that I read. I became very enthralled in those things because I realized that those things were going to allow me to climb up of that depressive state. And so a lot of times you'll find that if you begin to have this mindset, it's going to allow you to get out of depression rather than taking pills. I'm just saying, not that some people don't need it, but I've seen the studies, and the studies prove that a lot of times people don't need the pills. They need a shift. They need a paradigm shift in their thinking, right? Having a positive mindset, it has. Okay, watch this. It has greater resistance to the common cold. What? Greater resistance to the common cold. So listen, I don't even have to say it. That's what the studies say. Okay. Gives you better psychological and physical well-being. We spoke about that. And finally, better cardiovascular health. We reduce risk of death from cardiovascular disease. Those are just some of those things that your body goes through as you change your mindset, as you change your thinking. Let's not even forget about the things that happens externally. Let's not even talk about the way that people treat you, the way that you show up, the way that you take on this new business, this new venture, the way that you see money, the way that you see your relationships, the way that relationships see you, the way that you interact with those you care for. When you have a positive mindset and somebody says something negative to you, watch this. Because of your angle, it allows you to take those words and spin them and then enter your brain, so that when you're responding to that person, you're not responding in the negativity aspect of it, but you bringing them up in the negative place that they're in. So when you begin to think that, when you begin to practice that each and every day, having that positive mindset, having that attitude of gratitude, having that place that says that it's not that important, but I'm going to choose not to allow it to bring me in that space. I'm going to choose not to allow it to infest my mind with these thoughts. I'm going to choose. It is a choice that you can make to have a positive mindset, but you just first have to realize that you have to choose that. You have to realize that you have a choice. You have to realize that when it comes, you have a choice. One of my favorite scriptures says, you have to renew your mind each and every day. You have to renew your mind daily, not yesterday, not tomorrow, but daily, every single time. There's a renewal that's going on. There's a shedding of old thoughts, old mindset, old things that are not serving you. One of my favorite things to ponder on is what can I look around in my life? What can I look for that's not serving me and get rid of it? I love Marie Kondo. She talks about when you go into your closet and you see all these clothes that listen, you're not gonna wear the shirt. You haven't worn the shirt in a year. That what? Nope. It's not gonna be one day. Come talk to your boy. You're not gonna wear it. Get rid of it. Do the same thing with your thoughts. If you're thinking about something that is negative, it's not serving you, get rid of it. If you're thinking about someone negatively that's not serving you, deal with the circumstance. If you're thinking about a job that's not serving you, deal with it. Like, seriously, deal with it. Because if you don't, the opposite is going to begin to happen with your health. The opposite is going to begin to happen with your lifestyle. The opposite is going to begin to happen with the way that you think about life in general, man. So, man, I love this topic. I could go on and on, but I'm not going to do that because,
man, you know what? As you guys can see, and you're probably feeling,
yes,
Rudy's energy. You could feel the positivity coming through the screen, right? If you can feel the positivity, if you can feel that positivity and that love, type yes below. Type yes below. Just type yes. Give my boy some love and type yes below. Because I can tell you firsthand from my experience in knowing this brother, he's a testament for positivity and great energy and being able to attract and align circumstances and your results with what you want. When I met Rudy, he was just a life of just energy, and he helped me to be able to move through a lot of the things I was going through in my own life, transfer his energy into me so I can see new possibilities, new actions that I can take. So, when you talk about the choice, Rudy, man, I'm so there with you, and it reminds me so much of what Wayne Dyer said. He said that if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
I love that.
Man, that's hot. Let me say that. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change. It speaks to what Rudy said. You have a choice. You have a choice every single day. Number one, have the awareness that you're going to have a negativity bias, but be intentional, as Bobby said, and you have a choice to be able to start to implement the things to be positive in your life, because your life depends on it.
Yeah.
Your dream depends on it, right? The results that you want, the things that you want to accomplish in life depends on it. That is so, so critical. So listen, I'm sure you guys have been watching this conversation, and we want you to share this message. We want you to share this message because we're in agreement here at Confidence Back. We're in agreement that one idea, one course, one piece of nugget can help to shift somebody's life right now. And we are in what I call an inspiration economy. What people want to be fed good food, because so much of their life, they deal with so much negativity. So much of what they're going through the air gates is negative. and we got to help them to shift the positive. If you enjoy this information, share this broadcast with the people in your network so that they can be fed something positive in their news feed versus the negativity that they've been getting. What we consume, we become, and we want you to be a part of the process in helping Confidence Factor inspire millions of men across the country. Now, I just said men across the country, but ladies, like I said, I want to acknowledge you for being here because this is an open conversation. However, Confidence Factor is a community for men, and we have a challenge that's coming up called the Unleash Your Riches Challenge, where we're going to be going for 7 days. We're going to go through a process of helping people to transform. But you're important, and we love you. We know that you are a critical aspect as part of our particular goal and mission to be able to share this message with many men. So again, share this with the men in your life. We certainly appreciate you and love you for being here and joining in these conversations to support us on our particular mission. And at the end of the day, the quality of your life is always going to be the quality of your thinking. So Bobby, what are your thoughts on what Rudy shared, man? Man, that guy, you're so right. He should be in the military. He should re-enlist.
Yeah, bro. Listen, man. Man, if you put this guy out front, bro, I'm telling you, there would be no war. You understand? Listen, this is what positive thinking is about, right? Positive thinking is coming from an achievement mindset, an achiever mindset, a solution-based thinking. There's a way that we can solve this. And I always say there's 7. Researchers say it's 7 solutions to every situation.
Yeah. Yes.
Which means you can't look at something and say there's no answer. There is the answer. As a matter of fact, there's 7 answers. You just need one. And I said I love Post-its, right? I use Post-its for everything. When I'm trying to solve situations, I put a Post-it down. Bob Proctor put me onto this too. This is another thing Bob Proctor said. He said, write it down, put it on a piece of paper, put it on it. He said, now go around the table and look at it from different angles. It says, how would Bob Proctor handle this? How would Rudy handle it? How would Darian approach this situation, right? Because what I'm doing is that, like you said earlier, Darian, I'm taking on the energy of the mindset of the person. If you know the person is positive, how many times I heard somebody say, hey, I heard you talking to me. I didn't know what to do, but I heard you talking to me. I'm like, well, I wasn't talking. I wasn't there. I was here. Who's you here, right? But what they're saying is your inner, huh?
What would Bobby do?
But what they're saying is, I hear your energy. I hear your essence. I hear that if you were here, you would look at it like this. And that's what's helping me approach this particular situation. The other thing that Rudy said that was so profound is that he's talking about a lot of times people take pills and they don't need it. Now, obviously, you got to listen to your doctor. We all know, we got to do a little disclaimer there. That's how we do it. But at the same time, a lot of times doctors it's called the placebo effect. They give you something that doesn't do anything because they know if you take it, it'll calm your mind down, right? So it's the placebo effect. Sometimes you're not even taking a real pill. It's just all in your mind, right? So you can condition your mind, but it's just like working out, man. Consistency and commitment. You got to keep showing up, like Will Smith said, brick by brick, right? If I'm positive today and then I'm positive tomorrow, and see, here's what we tend to do. We say, oh, well, I'm this kind of person. I'm not like this. I'm not like that. Well, once you do that, you wrapping yourself up in the old garment. Rudy said you got to renew it. You got to shed it. You got to take it off. But you keep saying, I'm this way. This is how I am. Well, if you're saying that's how you are, then that's going to be how you are. So we got to shed that skin, man, and take a different mindset. So I love that when he talked about that and that study, John Hopkins.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me acknowledge.
One thing, Darian, one thing that Bobby said that just reminded me of something is that, for the type of field that I'm in as an IT person, like I have to be positive. Otherwise I'd go broke, because imagine a client call me and says, I have a problem with my computer, with my network. So I'm like, well, that sucks for you. I mean, it's probably
what did you do wrong? What did you do wrong?
I don't want to talk to this guy. So I'm just thinking, man, like I that's part of my field. I have to think that way. I have to think there's a solution to your problem. So
beautiful. I love it. People on the line. Yeah, let me acknowledge a couple of folks. We have Colleen here, we have Will here, we have Dennis, Tony, Sean Fleming is on my side, Marty, Kimberly, You know, I mean, Ralston, Tori is here. Davina, hey Davina, hey wifey. Frederick,
You.
you got a home support, Frederick Willock is here, man. I just want to acknowledge each one of you for spending time with us, man. And if you're still here, what I want you to do is just type in possibility. If you're watching us on the replay, write down possibility, like type in hashtag possibility, because we know that when we make these shifts, and from the information that you've heard today, I know many of you are seeing new possibilities for your life, right? I know you're seeing new possibilities for what your life can mean and what you can accomplish in your life. So just type a hashtag possibility for me. If you're loving what we're sharing, and again, feel free to share this message with your network, right? Gotta be a problem solver. I love what Sean's saying. Gotta be a problem solver. Absolutely, Sean. Thanks for being here. So we appreciate you sharing the message with your network, because again, our mission is to impact the lives of over 5 million men. Of course, ladies, we love that you're here to support the mission, to support the men. We want you to share this message with the men in your life. We have a challenge coming up. It's the Unleash Your Riches 7-day challenge, a free challenge. Should be a link that comes up. And we're going to post that in the comments as well. So have people click that, you can register, and we're going to be launching in the mid of August. So we're doing these talks because we want to inspire you. And we know that, again, sharing this knowledge, this information, these insights can make a lasting difference in their lives. And ultimately, that's why we all here, fellas, right? To be an expression of love, to really be an expression of love to the people listening. So we're thankful and grateful that you're here. Just acknowledging everybody's here. So, Rudy, one of the things that you talked about, and I really want to kind of emphasize this as we close. For you, one thing I've noticed is you have ability to be able to attract people, and you have that positive energy. And environments are something that you've always put yourself into. As you talk about the importance of environment, I want you to kind of talk about, why is environments like a platform like Confidence Factor, why is it important for the repetition of positivity? Because you're always going to events and you're always hanging out with groups and things like that. So why is that critical?
Man, the community, and it's funny you said that. Today I was driving somewhere and I saw two young ladies that were jogging, and one of them was a little heavy set and the other one was, she looked like she was fit. And I'm like, that's interesting, because normally you see birds of a feather flock together, right? You see the heavy set lady hang out with the heavy set person, and then you see the fit person hang out with fit person. Well, what if you desired something and you wanted to go, you wanted to, I don't know, be a mechanic or be an IT guy or be a marketer? What would you do? You would go and hang out with marketing people, hang out with IT people, hang out with, mechanics. And the fact that this heavy set lady is hanging out with this fit lady, guess what's going to happen eventually? She's going to get fed. And a lot of times it's the same thing with our mindset and with our environment, is that I feel that I have to be a protector of my environment. One of the ways that I forgot to mention that I do is my little affirmation thing here. My little affirmation thing is that, sometimes to have a positive mindset, you have to tell yourself what you want to think about. Like literally, one of the things on here is I exercise at least 3 times a week. That was one of the things that I wanted to do. I was adamant about it. I kept on telling myself, and guess what? For the last, since I think April, right, Bobby? Since April?
Yeah. End of April, yeah.
A week. I got hurt, back feeling bad, but listen, I'm still pushing through. Because why? Because those are the things that I speak to me. So environment is huge for me, because it sets myself in the space where I want to be. And if I can be in that space, if it's up to me that I can be in that space that's going to put me in the headspace that I want to be, then I'm all for it. I'm there, man.
Yeah.
I'm there.
Love it.
Yeah.
Bobby, so tell me, you talked about, of course, shifting from negative thoughts. How is environment important in that overall process? What do you think?
So environment is everything, man. you know, we're here to grow, to expand. You want to put yourself in the right environment of that which you desire to grow into, right? So, you know, the plant outside my door here, you know, it's growing towards the sun. The sun is giving it nourishment. It's seeking out the sun. Like you say, we're seeking expression. We have a life force energy on the inside of us, right? And that life force energy is seeking expression. And you can express that negatively, or you can express that positively. You're going to have to choose, you know, what you want to do. One of the words that comes to mind all the time for me, I found this word called pronoia.
Yeah.
Pronoia is the opposite of paranoia. Everybody knows paranoia.
Yep.
Right? People, places, and things are conspiring to get me. Everybody's out to get me. I feel like they're trying to take me out. Right? If you feel like that and you're thinking that, that's what you're going to attract. That's the state you're in. That's what you're surrounding yourself with. Those thoughts are coming from the inside out. Your surroundings are an offspring of your mindset, right? So to replace that, I replaced it and I found the word pronoia. Pronoia simply means you believe that the universe is conspiring to bless you. I choose to believe that being around Rudy, being around Darian, being around all these millions of confidence factor men, that I'm going to get better because I'm in a safe place where men are growing, developing, seeking positive expression, and seeing what they can become. I like to be in that type of environment versus being on the street, hanging out and doing nothing and, you know, going nowhere. I'm choosing and picking my environment, my surroundings. And again, it's just like that bottle sitting on the lake. It's as simple as you take the bottle out and you put yourself a swan. What do you want? Right? You don't want to take the bottle off, put yourself a nice little turtle floating on the water. It's like like a storage container. You got old boxes in there, old clothes in your closet you don't need. Take them out, replace it with the things you do want, and you will find that your life will be happier, you'll be healthier, you'll be more positive, and it's not going to be as difficult as it currently is. So that's my thought on it. You know, surround yourself with the people you want to be like, the environment you want to be like, and I believe it's going to get inside of you and you inside of it, and you become one with your environment.
No, man, that's true. Environment is everything, and that's one of the things that we all are congruent, thinking on, which is one of the reasons we started Confidence Factor. We realized that men, entrepreneur-minded men, and everyone needs a community, but we know that right now, men need a community where they can have heart level conversations to have transformation. And I can't tell you guys how much it has been meaningful for me in my own life to have you fellas, because so many times, as you guys know, at the times going through the journey of being an entrepreneur, you're going to have your dull moments. You're going to have your thoughts are going to dip towards the negative. So you need that accountability. You need people to say, hey man, is that really true? When you start to have that, what if conversations and things like that, you need people around you to bring you back on course. And I so love the quote by Winston Churchill, who says that success is going from failure to failure without losing that enthusiasm.
That's right.
And so often as we go through life towards success, playing the game of life, we lose our enthusiasm a little bit. And we need to have brothers around us to really uplift us, to support us, to give us a new perspective, as Bobby said, to give us the right type of tools that we need to be able to continue to move forward towards success. That's how life is set up. So listen, we invite you to join us. We invite you to join us as we go through this process of unleashing our confidence factor. We want to thank you so much for being here with us tonight. Again, share this message with your network. We have a mission and a goal to impact over 5 million men. And we want your support. We want your support. So, hey, fellas.
Sign up for the challenge. Sign up for the challenge. Click the link. Sign up for the challenge. 7 days.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
So, hey, let's send them off. So, in everything that we do, how we do it, fellas?
We keep it heart level.
Keep it heart level. Keep it heart level. Confidence factor. Going forward.
Man, that boom.